Hello, this is Shui from Week 10 group in Workshop 2. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about feminities and masculinities, the formation of gender identity and stereotypes in early childhood. This presentation based on Martin B's literature. You've got to have the pink one because you're a girl. Exploring young girls' understandings of feminities and masculinities in preschool. So we are from the Week 10 group in Workshop 2. The team members and duties are below. Firstly, we have Zining Guo, who was in charge of the article overview, the key points, and the teaching notes. Also, we have Ke Xinzhang, who is in charge of the links to APST Focus Area 1.3 and the take-home points. Lastly, it's me, Xu Weiji. I was in charge of the additional resources and the PowerPoint construction and polishing, also the recording and uploading. 3 of us designed the activity in the presentation together. So let's check it out. Firstly, I'm going to introduce the key points of the article. Martin's studies was about the feminities and masculinities in a primary school in England, where Martin was a participant observer for 2 years. Martin's main aim was to explore how children form their gender identities through the interaction with others in a school which includes 16 different ethnicity groups from different class backgrounds. Also, Martin found that children develop their gender identity through the interactions with others. In 21st century, we might think that our children are choosing the toys and the games they want to play and the playmates they want to play with. But is the free choice really free? I suppose maybe not. Why do I say that? Because Martin found that in the school, pink, the color pink, has been considered as a color for girls. Girls are willing to choose pink toys, but boys try to avoid using them and see them as pollutants. Girls are limited not only by pink color, but also other opinions. For example, girls should wear dresses and high heels and should pay close attention to their appearance. They are expected to engage in art activities such as dancing, college, and play with Disney princess toys and Barbies. They are also be expected to learn knowledge about fashion, but not fighting games such as football, basketball, and knowledge about machines and sports. These kinds of expectations constrain their developments. Also, a lot of games children playing, such as the dinosaur game mentioned in the article, indicates that girls are born weaker than boys and should seek help when they meet difficulties. Martin also suggested that neoliberalism leads to gender inequality and hegemonism. Hence, as teachers, we need to learn to help children to develop a correct gender recognition. We designed some activity for this hot topic presentation. The aim is to acknowledge the gender stereotypes deep inside our mind. This is an experimental learning, and we will experience this activity as a teacher who is assigning roles to children and unpack this activity afterward. So here are some details about this activity. Now we have 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. They are from different cultural backgrounds and they have their different personalities. So in this activity, we will provide the information of those 6 children and invite our previous teachers who participate in this activity to imagine themselves as a teacher for the children. They are going to perform a drama. And here are some roles in this drama. We will give the pre-service teacher 2 minutes to think about which roles suit each kid's best. And for example, now I would like to say, hands up if you think Mohammed should take the CEO role. To engage our pre-service teachers into this activity. And we will record the number of the votes in the table. After the voting, we will count how many votes each child has in different roles and write them down in the table. So here are some teaching notes. We assume most of our per-service teacher will give the CEO, lawyers, and doctors to boys, and give the nurse, secretary, and the receptionist to girls. So the purpose for this activity is to let pre-service teachers to realize that gender inequality still exists in our society, and when we are attributing the roles to the children, we are delivering our stereotyped perception of gender to those children. So, links to the key point of the article. Children develop their gender identity through the interactions with others, and we are part of the environment that will influence them. If we set limits on what they can do, how can they achieve it by themselves? So I would like to share you a video about the experiment conducted by the BBC. Let's watch the video together.
Look at this. Do you like a dolly? Should we go for the dolly? There's a good girl. You're a good little girl, aren't you, Sophie? Look, what does this say? Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. Ooh, look at this, Sophie. Meow, meow. I think she liked that pink dolly the best.
If I were to tell you actually that Sophie is Edward,
does
that change anything?
I maybe thought, oh, this is a little girl, so I have to give her little girl things.
Say hello. Say hello. 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 Come on.
What's this one? Oh, what's that one do? Is that a robot? What about this? Oh, you like that one? What does this one do? Oliver.
You've gone for, you could say, boy toys for this boy.
Possibly in my subconscious, but for me, I was just going for what was around me, but then perhaps my subconscious was automatically playing a trick on me. That I was.
If I tell you that he is actually a girl.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting. I suppose it's because of the stereotype.
And then that changed your behaviour towards the child.
It did.
And your behaviour was quite directive.
1, 2, 3. Beep,
beep, beep, beep, beep.
Do you want to see my robot?
She's picked up the robot, the car, the puzzle game. I think she's been much more physical in handling the child than the other adults have been with girls.
really astounded me because I thought that I was somebody that had a really open mind.
Surprise. So I automatically went for the pink fluffy toy because I see it was a girl, so I was sort of stereotyping.
I've always thought I was rather more open-minded than that, and I would think, these are children's toys, whatever the gender.
It will make me think the next time I'm with a child, so my niece or my nephew, to make sure that I am actually being sort of fair and equal with all of them, and just giving each child an opportunity to just be whoever they are.
So we can see that in this video, no matter the adult is male or female, they all choose the gender stereotypes toys to the children. But children just choose the toys they like to play, whether the toy is a boy toy or a girl toy in adult's mind. Imagine if that is you. Are you sure you don't gender stereotype children in the toys you choose for them? What would happen if the teachers choose those toys with gender stereotypes or attribute the roles with gender stereotype in the role-play game and the drama? So now it leads to a follow-up activity. So we will invite the pre-service teacher to have a deeper communication on how we could change students' stereotyping about gender and how we could guide them to find their real gender identity through the role-play game. So we will invite them to discuss about those 3 questions in the groups. What would you do if a girl who got nurse wants to be a doctor, and a boy who got doctor does not want to be a nurse because he thinks that it is a girl's role? And what would you do if a boy wants to be a nurse, but other children laugh at him and say, that's a girl's role? What would you do to make the role-play game more equitable? Australian Profession Standards for Teachers Focus Area 1.3 requires teachers to demonstrate knowledge of teaching strategies that are responsive to the learning strengths and needs of students from diverse linguistic, cultural, religious, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Our initial thoughts about this focus area are trying to include diverse students with different cultural and socioeconomic backgrounds. This shapes emergent teaching dispositions in the following ways. Firstly, it illustrates pictures with diverse students from different countries. Also, it offering options that include international children in our activity. The activity acknowledges that the gender stereotype has been generally penetrated into individuals' cultural backgrounds, and it is a huge problem that will potentially cause the gender segregation and gender bias in workplace. Therefore, as teachers, we need to consider if the curriculum is inclusive when developing a teaching philosophy, and to consider if the voices or perspectives we celebrate are inclusive. However, we need to admit that there are some blind spots we have in when we are designing the activity. Firstly, it did not touch the different linguistic and religious backgrounds among the students. Also, it didn't include the indigenous people in the curriculum. We need to share some take-home points with you. So firstly, gender inequality and hegemonism has been caused by the neoliberalism and the meritocracy in Australia. So what is a meritocracy? Meritocracy is a society built on the assumption or worldview that we are all individuals, and with hard work and talent, we can all achieve success. However, it underestimates the social expectations, beliefs, and rules that are ascribed to biological sexes. Also, it underestimates the benefits in binary stereotype about masculinity and femininity. The second point I would like to share is gender identity is learned passively through socialization, such as the person's interaction with the environment. For example, with parents, school, media, and peer group. Therefore, the limited alternatives are provided by teachers who could affect the construction of children's gender identity. Even though some children are trying to promote themselves to challenge the gender stereotypes, they still picture themselves based on their gender representations, such as colors, to fit the mainstream understandings of genders and the expectation of the teachers and parents. Hence, as teachers, it is significant to acknowledge how deeply our teaching philosophy will affect children's gender identity in early childhood. So, there's some implications for the future practice. Firstly, according to Messner, gender and sexual identity are not fixed, but change over time and differ from culture to culture and in different social contexts. Hence, teachers need to help children to explore their ideas and feelings about gender. Teachers can do that with telling some stories that would facilitate children with an identity with gender equality. Also, teachers can make conversations with children to share their opinions of genders. Apart from that, teachers need to provide children with experiences without gender stereotypes to empower and please them. By doing so, they can create experiences that children with different genders can play together. Also, teachers need to be really careful on the selections of toys and to respect children's choice on toys. They should not limit their choice by gender. To be more specific, teachers should let children to choose the toys they like to play, but not they should play. Lastly, teachers need to utilize the symbols that implicate gender properly, such as the color pink. In the end of the presentation, I would like to share with you this very lovely photo. If you want equal pay, then why not start with equal play? Thanks for watching this presentation video, and here are some reference of the additional resources. I hope you like this video and hope you enjoy your day. Thank you.